Hello, everybody. It's time to talk about something that I like talking about because I just did the arc episode 9 and I was highly down on it. But Picard season 3 has been nothing but goodness every episode. Now, I know last episode I said it was the weakest of the season, and it was. I mean, it wasn't as amazing as the other episode where I was like, this is perfect. I can't find nothing wrong to talk about it. But now things are, coming to a head as far as what Jack Crusher is and, why Vatic and the changelings are coming after Starfleet. So here we go with episode 7 of season 3. So grab a drink, grab some food, and let's do some couch entertainments. We're in Chindaka Scrapyard, and it starts off with 7 of 9 in the captain chair talking to Tuvok. Now, what I really like in the beginning of the episode is that they're trying to find out who who is a changeling and who is not. But what I really like about this episode is that it solidifies that Shaw needs to, be with this crew that Starfleet is compromised. And also Geordie LaForge, because remember last episode, he had to make a quick decision on whether to run with them or, report back to Starfleet. But now Geordi sees that literally there's no one to trust in Starfleet and that they're on their own. So they're back in the conference room trying to figure out some things. Um, they think that Geordie LaForge daughter has found something, and they did. They explain that there's a partition with Lore, the evil brother, and Data. So Geordie is like, they're both in there and they're somehow, in the same body and they are fighting to take control. Lore, comes out and is pretty much degrading Picard and Geordi about how humans are stupid. And it's just typical bad guy stuff. But I like that I know I was pretty down on it last episode because I was like, where is this going? How can you bring Data back again? And you also got to remember that where they got this data here is from like a special ops station from Starfleet. And we know the government, they always love to experiment on things. And I'm pretty sure once they found out the data was like a unique android, and they've done this in the next generation where they had that Dr. Mann and Picard having a court system going on the ship, whether Data should have rights in order to make decisions on his own and not be just a piece of property. I highly recommend to go watch that episode. By the way, it's amazing. So I would imagine Starfleet would say, "Hey, Lore's pretty interesting and Data, so let's store him in this body or whatever." Now, I don't know if I said this last episode, but I never pointed out that this person is not a changeling. He keeps on saying your people. So I'm thinking it's probably someone else. And I wonder who it is. I What's your guys uh prediction prediction on like what species this person is? I've come to like two conclusions, I think. It's either the Jeddah or it's a Cardassian. I don't know the reasoning yet on who this is, but I just have a strange feeling based off of like the shape of the head. It looks very reptilian. And Cardassians had a reptilian face to it. So she's under pressure. She looks scared of this thing, by the way. When every time she's talking to it, she's very like scared and unsure if she could actually get Jack Crusher. Now, we are learning a little bit more about Jack Crusher's, I guess, powers. So not only does Jason Bourne type of stuff, but he also his eyes turn red, and when he does that, he could like hear people's thoughts, and you learn about later what else he could do as well. So we'll get to that soon. So Jack Crusher, feeling guilty that he's putting people in harm's way by not giving himself up. And obviously Picard is like, "You're my son. I'm not just gonna let you go with these people. You don't know if they're gonna try to kill you or something." And they thought of an idea. So what they do is they, turn on their transponder, or they send out a signal, or Riker sends out a signal, which the Shrike, is led to this junkyard, and they see the Titan is just sitting there. Now she's thinking it's easy because she's under pressure of that thing that she was talking to before, and one of the her officers is like, "This could be a trap," which essentially it is. She's very desperate. She's like, "They're right there. I could feel him." And that's interesting choice of words, by the way, where she's like, "I could, feel him. I could almost touch him." And what is he, right? Because now he's having all these, powers now that he could hear thought. And uh, is he a changeling? But anyway, they board the ship. They see Jack Crusher, and automatically, that they're going to be chasing him into a trap. They turn on the force field and try to pretty much split up the team. Now, this is where I really like the episode because I was like, I want to learn about Vatic, because why is the Changelings all of a sudden mad at Starfleet? Because I remember the Changelings kind of being on good terms, to not the point of like trying to kill people in Starfleet. So you get a backstory about her. And by the way, Laura's acting up and stuff. Let me see if I can get let's see here. Anyway, so we get a backstory of Vatic, where her and a group of changelings are being worked on and experimented by this person who she takes over. She essentially takes over her torturer because she wants to be reminded of the hate that she felt from this person and take it out on Starfleet when she has to start essentially killing people. Just giving her a pass to harm others because of what this person in Starfleet did to them. So they were doing experiments, not knowing that it was painful and torturous on what they were doing. And you get, if I had to compare this, it's kind of like the United States or any type of country, invading the Middle East and pretty much destroying their home, and then just leaving, and finding out that all this stuff was for resources like oil or something. And essentially Starfleet kind of does that in a way. Like, they always put their noses in other people's businesses, and they just don't care for people's cultures, even though they try to act like they're this higher being now compared to what they used to be. There's still some human elements to Starfleet that will never change, in my opinion, in mankind. So she doesn't look worried. They tried to do like good cop, bad cop between Dr. Crusher and Picard, where Picard is more of the reason, and Dr. Crusher is more like, "You're trying to like take and kill my son, and I don't have a problem killing you." So while all this talking is happening, the Lore is starting to take over the ship, because Lore despises Starfleet and humans, and he uses the line, "The enemy of my enemy is now my friend." Now, when I was watching this with my dad, essentially we thought that Lore was kind of being on their side against the changelings, but it was the other way around because they both despise Starfleet. They could essentially team up to kill them. So Lore is about to, you know, screw everything up, which he does. The force fields dissipate, and Vatic turns into a changeling and escapes. They weren't able to shoot Vatic and eliminate her because they thought about eliminating her because, like, if they eliminate her now, she won't be a problem later on as far as trying to take back Starfleet. This is where it gets really interesting because, and I know I mess up on the names and stuff, and I do apologize. And it's just in my brain. This is how I think. I do this off of. I shoot from the hip when I'm talking about this stuff. I don't have a script. I don't have anything to go off of reference. I'm going this based off of memory. But Red Shirt LaForge and Jack Crusher are split up. There's like still like a force field, but uh, there's still one force field where Jack is split from her, and one of those changeling things with the mask is like beating her up. And what he does is his eyes light up, and he like takes control of her body, and he's like punching air on the other side, but he's actually taking over her body and punching him. And she's like, what the hell are you? Like, what did you just do to me? Um, and obviously, because everybody's under attack, they run away together. Um, Shaw being Shaw, he's great. He's going after them, but essentially, they take over the ship, and Vanek sits in the chair, and that's where it ends. It. I thought this episode was great, and Shaw got beat up by that because what usually happens is when they shoot or injure one of the changelings, they are not essentially dead. They like have this Michael Myers, Mike Myers, like Halloween, where they get up again and he gets beat up. And I do like this shot because he feels like he's doomed at this point. Like a tear rolls down his face and stuff. And Vatic is sitting in a chair, and essentially Vatic, one, has Jack Crusher, and two, has control of the ship. Now, just at the end, Data does take back control of the body that they're in because Laura is kind of like, Jordy, I see your, feelings based off of the memories of Data. And then eventually Data does take control. So it's going to be interesting what's going to happen from here on out. I wonder how they're going to get out of this pickle. I know they are essentially are going to get out of this, but essentially you have whatever entity that is talking to Vanek where she is scared of, and now she could be leading the Titan to that person, and we finally get the identity of that. And I wonder how they're going to save Starfleet because that's going to be interesting. I want to hear your guys' comments on predictions. One, who is Vatic talking to? You could say the species, or if you have an idea of what person, whether it be a legacy Star Trek character, please comment down below. And how do you think they're going to save Starfleet? By the way, I want to hear your guys' opinions on that. And here's an interesting story, discussion, I should say, is will Picard die this season? Will this be the end? And hopefully Riker's okay. So I hope Riker lasts this season. He's like one of my favorite characters in the Next Generation. But I think we'll end it here. Um, by the way, this episode was named Dominion because while Vatic was talking about, her experience or her torture, it was during or I think after the Dominion War and all that stuff, or at least during it. I don't know. But please like and subscribe this video. Like I said before, comment down below whether you like this episode. I like this episode. I recommend it. Um, and hit that bell for some notifications. I will see you guys in the next video on this couch. Bye, guys.